Welcome into No Punt Intended, presented by Club Fantasy. It is formerly known as Playoff Week 1, now known as the final week of the regular season. For most of you, I am in a 14-team league that does start their playoffs this week. So for most, happy final week of the regular season. For some, happy first week of the playoffs. And for the select few in 8 and 6-team leagues, what are you doing? I mean, just invite us. We'll play in your leagues. But one last final playoff push for those that are already secured. Congratulations. For those fighting for a spot, like I think every single one of us is in at least one of our leagues. Well, we're all here to help each other. So tune in. It's going to be a great show. Let's get into it. Welcome into No Punt Intended, presented by Club Fantasy. I am your host, Joe Zollo. Joining me, as always, Joshua Hudson, Ryan Weisse. Gentlemen, how are we?
You literally made me think I had my name spelled wrong because you said it weird there.
Weisse?
Weisse. I was like,
yeah,
oh, should I have
Weisse.
extra letters down here?
Yeah, that's you, Ryan Weisse.
I'm doing great, Joe. Thanks for asking.
Oh my goodness, great! That's a bold statement.
I'm always doing good.
That's good.
Get to spend my Wednesday night with you knuckleheads. It's always a good day.
Oh my God, that's
There
so
you
nice.
go.
Josh, how are you?
A weekend on my new job, so
Heck yeah!
Ah,
For those that
okay,
don't
so
know,
corporate America.
yeah, for those that don't know, Ryan and I now have free hotel rooms at Hilton properties across the country.
cheap hotel rooms. Get it right, cheap.
Hotel rooms across the country at all.
I had
Hilton
that already,
properties.
but that's just because I spend Marlia's money. So
There you go.
Hey, that works. Elixirs is here.
But I would like to say really quick,
Oh, okay.
shout out, and I know she's not watching, but happy birthday to my mom. Today is her 67th birthday.
Woo!
oh my goodness, happy birthday!
Woo! Mom, you need to be a more dedicated fan to your son's podcast.
Yeah, no wonder
That's
you're not
another
doing.
Yeah. For off air.
How do
No wonder you're not doing well in your fantasy leagues, Mom. You need to be watching.
yeah, it's not Feliz Navidad. How do you say happy birthday? It's
Feliz cumpleaños.
Feliz cumpleaños. I was like, I knew Feliz is in there. Elixir's checking in. He picked up DeAndre Swift off waivers this week.
Let's go.
Congratulations on a win, I think.
Wow, people are incredible.
Yeah. And he also tossed in the happy birthday to Josh's mom. Happy birthday,
Elixir's a
Josh's
man of the
mom.
people.
That's what she will forever be referred to now as Josh's mother. No first name. Joshua's mother. No first name, no last name, no middle. Just Joshua's mom. All right. News and notes that we typed up 3 minutes ago. Everyone has COVID. So
That's what you get.
that's we don't know.
I can't keep up anymore. I really
No,
can't.
the most important thing, Mom.
I get so many freaking alerts.
Yeah.
Like Wednesdays,
COVID.
because like all the injury stuff as people start coming back to practice. I'm like,
COVID.
I'm over it. There's 4 weeks left in the season. You know who's hurt. You know who's
Yeah,
playing.
I say
who's
for
not
tomorrow night, Dalvin Cook is listed as questionable.
Questionable.
Did practice a little bit today, and Adam Thielen is out. So just keep those things in mind. And then the most important one that just happened today, if anyone missed it, Mike Williams popped on the COVID list too. So now that's Keenan Allen and Mike Williams.
Are they both vaxxed or?
playing. Mike Williams is not.
Yeah, I was
Okay,
going to say
so Mike
Allen.
Williams-
They've been
Here's the thing. They're saying that right now they're reporting he's a close contact.
Okay, I missed that. See,
So if he tests negative-
if he tests positive, then he's done
Then
this
he's out
week,
this
probably
week.
next week. But he does still have a chance to play Sunday if
long
he
as he
has
tests
5
negative.
straight negative tests.
Okay.
so he'll just have
Perfect.
to test negative every day this week.
Correct.
Yep. And then Keenan Allen's vax, so he just needs 2 negatives 24 hours apart. If he has it, odds are he probably won't play this week just due to protocols.
Yeah, what a matchup for these guys to miss. Week 14, teams are fighting for their playoff lives. Keenan Allen has been a stud this season, and now they get this cupcake, and it's all blowing up in their
Who,
face.
who are they playing this week? I'm forgetting.
I
Yeah,
have no
the
idea.
Giants.
Oh, yeah.
Giants.
Absolute
Yeah. It's going to be a
cupcake of a
big
matchup.
Jared Cook week if both of those guys miss.
Yep. Might have to adjust my stream of the week list.
Yeah. Hey, Jalen Guyton
Yeah.
made a
Josh
great catch.
Palmer too.
Josh Palmer. Yeah. Jalen Guyton.
Palmer
Josh
was heavily involved 2 weeks ago, but then almost ignored last week. So
Well,
It's either
he had the
Guyton
one-
or Palmer.
he had the one pass that should have been a catch
Yep.
that wasn't, and yeah, it was the whole thing.
It's either Guyton or Palmer. I mean, they're the third receiver, but if Allen and Mike Williams are out,
That's your 1 and 2 was cooked. So.
Guyton goes to 1 and Palmer goes to the 2. So I don't really know who'd play the Keenan Allen role there.
Jared
so
Cook. He'll line
Jared-
up in the slot. Yeah.
Maybe he's just old and fat, so I don't know.
He's
if
still
he can-
he plays outside as a receiver in the slot, or literally out wide more than he does in line as a tight end. He's always been more of a receiver tight end anyway.
Oh yeah. Because I feel, again, I don't watch a crazy amount of Chargers football, but I feel from the game that I watched in person and just from seeing them when they're on Red Zone or if they're on national TV, Josh Palmer and Jalen Guyton seem to be more of a Mike Williams type role. They're just big body possession receivers, whereas Keenan Allen is out of control.
I was going to say top 5 wide receiver.
Out of control. Yeah, he had a fantastic week last week. Okay, let's get into the 3 up, 3 downs here. As always, guys, throw in your questions. Elixir says he's 5-8 in that league. He picked up DeAndre Swift in, so he probably shouldn't be talking. But congratulations, you made a good move in week 14. Hopefully hopefully there's other teams in your league fighting for playoffs that are 5-8, and if you win, well, you made a good move. All right, let's start. Josh, Javonte Williams, it's, everyone can not explode on Twitter about anything. He was the offense from what I saw.
Yeah.
It was the RB1 on the week.
Yeah, he was the offense. Josh, you have Kyler Murray as well, QB2 in the week, and he threw 15 passes. Electric.
That's the Kyler Murray that we remember from 2020.
Exactly.
Yes.
It's that rushing upside. Kyler Murray and Taysom Hill told you the story again this week. So.
And I mean, the pass to James Conner should not have been a touchdown because that was an absolute piss poor throw out of Kyler, and then James Conner just bails him out.
Beast.
That was a good catch. That was a great catch.
OBJ-esque.
I mean,
No, but it was nice though.
Yeah.
For a big running back, it was great.
No, it was a fantastic catch for a guy who also, I mean, he can pass catch, but he's not known for being the pass catching back. And then Josh, Deante Johnson, because the only thing that can make Ben Roethlisberger look relevant at this point in his career, number 18, Deante Johnson. Ryan, Gardner Minshew, legend, the GOAT.
Oh my goodness.
Is he better than Jalen Hurts? I don't know.
Here's the thing, and I meant to do this week. I like Jalen Hurts. I'm a Jalen Hurts guy. Is Gardner Minshew a better thrower? Yes, but that's not what Jalen Hurts does. But what really how did the Texans not go get Gardner Minshew? There's so many teams out there where I'm like, what were you even to an extent, Washington. Now, maybe they believed in Heineke, but obviously they went the Fitzpatrick route. But you had a solid team, a playoff team, and you're like, nah, we don't need this guy. It's embarrassing for the NFL that Gardner Minshew is a backup in Philadelphia.
The Eagles paid less to acquire Gardner Minshew from the Jaguars than the Jets gave to Philly to acquire Joe Flacco. I just want to let that sink in. That is 1,000% true. We gave up a 6th round pick to get Gardner Minshew, and we got a 5th round, which could potentially turn into a 4th round pick from the Jets for Joe
Flacco.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, I would say it makes sense that they went and got Flacco because he was there the previous year, but the entire
completely
coaching
different
staff
system.
changed.
Yeah.
Yeah, so didn't matter.
It's Joe Douglas. Joe Douglas was in Baltimore when they drafted Joe Flacco. Flacco has a relationship with Douglas. That's why Douglas went and got Flacco.
And for what it's worth, Flacco actually looked decent in that game against the Dolphins. So,
and this is what I told you guys in the group chat. Right now, Gardner Minshew fits that Eagles offense better
100%.
than Jalen Hurts.
Electric. Absolutely electric.
Because all they're really letting Hurts do is run the ball.
And they haven't had the time to build. Baltimore built a running type offense around Lamar Jackson. If the Eagles want to do that,
learn to progress in his throwing, correct?
But the Eagles have built this team for lack of a better term, and this is not to disparage Jalen Hurts, they've built it around a real quarterback. You have a alpha wide receiver 1. You have Reagor, who could probably be a legitimate slot wide receiver with the right quarterback. You have a legit alpha tight end. You have a pass catching running back. These things don't go with Jalen Hurts' game. That's just not how it works. So there are no pass catching running backs in Baltimore. That's not how they built their offense. So
correct. Second up, George Kittle. Nice to see he's still an elite fantasy tight end. Will it happen with all 3 of them on the field?
Yeah, that's the only monkey he has to get off his back at this point is he shut people up repeatedly this season, but have we seen all 3 in a single game yet? Like, I don't know that we have.
Yeah, we have
week 1
several occasions actually this year.
Have we? I thought Debo and Ayuk were missing time because Ayuk was dog.
No, Debo's played every up until this groin injury. He played every game. So was Ayuk.
Okay,
it's been Kittle that's been missing the time.
Yeah.
But I mean, he missed those 3 weeks, I think, and that was it.
Okay.
5, 6, 7, 8. One of those I know was the bye. But yeah, so like they were all in the field weeks 1 through 4, 9 and 10 and 11, I believe. All 3 were on the field, and Debo's missed the last 2 weeks.
There you go. But
Ayuk with a big game last week. Shout out Brandon Ayuk for 3 for 55 and going 4 for 70 in both games against the Seattle Seahawks this year. So
they just weren't really looking his way. Like it was all Kittle this week.
It was. Ryan, Chris Godwin, more receptions than anyone else had targets. I didn't know that. Every time I looked up, Chris Godwin caught a football. Yeah. So I was happy. I had Brady, Godwin, and Gronkowski on the same team.
That'll work.
So 230-point win felt really good this week. My 3 ups, I had Damien Harris, holy gas pedal, 21.6 miles per hour on that touchdown run. I did not think he was that fast. He flew when he saw that hole.
I mean, he had the wind behind him.
I would say the wind was pushing him.
The wind was against him.
So he was in the wind, wasn't he?
The wind was against him running that way. So the joke doesn't even work. But that was unreal how fast he bolted.
Awesome.
Jordan Poyer did not stand a chance. T. Higgins, Tavon Campbell is the fantasy cheat code for wide receivers. I will say the double coverage. The double coverage catch that T. Higgins made on the touchdown.
So nice.
Why don't they just do that more often?
Yep.
It was perfect.
Well,
it was beautiful.
I caught on to this last year, and it's happening more and more. It was a little bit of Chase Claypool, but it was a lot of T. Higgins last year too. In games where opposing tight ends should be, in the games where CJ Uzomah should pop, Higgins has a more likelihood of popping because they play him in that middle of the field, big body tight end area in those type of games. It happened with Claypool last year. It happened with Higgins last year. And this was a game the Chargers can be beat by the tight end, but instead of getting beat by Uzomah, it was Higgins just lighting him up. So
T. Higgins, nasty. That's all you need to know. And then I'm just going to echo Ryan, Gardner Minshew. If you don't like him, get off the planet. I saw someone complaining on Twitter. Do you hate fun?
Yeah, right.
I don't. What
I went at
and his after game reaction with his dad.
Yeah, that was awesome.
I absolutely loved that.
That was great.
Absolutely amazing.
That was great.
This might come up again in my 3 down.
Absolutely love it. All right. Let's get this first one out of the way because it's actually from Carrington and our favorite Zollo, my father. Dylan or Jones, they both have him on the same team. I'm going to assume both of these are PPR. Carrington kind of asked basically, will Jones get the full workload or is Dylan going to get the majority? He has them both needs a win this week. Dad, same exact question. So I'm going to be honest. I don't know, but I'm pretty sure Aaron Jones eats up the Bears, if I'm not mistaken.
Career-wise?
Yeah, I think career-wise it's either them or Minnesota that I'm thinking of that he has a really good reputation against. It might be both. I'm going to be honest.
Could very well be both.
It could very well be both. But I don't know.
Bears.
Aaron Jones hasn't played in 2 weeks, right? You have to think he's good to go.
No, he played in 12. They just fed Dylan in 12. Dylan saw 25 touches to Jones's 12.
And they had a bye last week, didn't they?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's why I think it leans back towards Jones
Aaron
this week.
Jones.
He's had times to rest up. They've had time to implement game plans. Like, it's not like a rush thing where you didn't know if you were going to have Jones and then you're going to lean on Dylan. What I think we might end up seeing, and this is going to be an interesting analogy, is we might end up seeing a Zeke Pollard situation, but Jones in the Pollard role. And I think that works out well for him because it was so crazy to see 2 weeks ago that Dylan was targeted 5 times and Jones was only targeted once, which clearly just meant Dylan was out there on third down. I think you maybe see that flip at this point. So,
yeah, I mean, the last time Green Bay played the Bears, Jones was RB10. I mean, he's had solid games. He hasn't torched him the way that I think you're believing, Joe. His last 2 games, he has, 8 catches, 77 yards and a touchdown, 42 and a touchdown.
It's
and
definitely
76.
Minnesota you're thinking of, Joe.
Yeah, it's definitely. Are you looking up his Minnesota stats?
Yeah,
right
I just got to 2019. It's a Bill 16 and a touchdown, a Bill 54 and a touchdown.
Yeah.
In 2020, 66 and a touchdown. Looks like he only played him once last year. So yeah, it's Minnesota he beats up on.
Yeah, it's Minnesota he destroys. Okay. He also smokes the Lions, but who doesn't? The Vikings.
Well, now I have to keep working backwards. I think Aaron Jones may have scored a touchdown. Nope. He scored a touchdown against Minnesota in every game except his rookie year. So since his rookie year, he scored a touchdown against Minnesota in every game.
Oh, so Aaron Jones against the Vikings is a lock then. Perfect.
Yep.
Back to Elixirs, locking in Godwin and Higgins. He needs one to start. Cooks, Gallup, Odell Beckham Jr., Jerry Jeudy. Who are we feeling of these one peoples? Jeudy is home against Detroit. Odell in Arizona on Monday Night Football. Gallup is in Washington. And Houston, I believe, plays the Titans. Am I wrong on that?
No, they play Seattle.
Play Seattle, sorry. At home against Seattle, though, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I kind of want to lean Cooks with the QB change to Mills.
I like that as well because Davis Mills is just better than Tyrod Taylor. I don't know
Taylor's
why.
looked like dog shit the past few weeks.
Doggy doo-doo. I don't like Gallup's matchup. I don't know why. I just feel
Washington's defense has been better, but they're likely going to be down not one but 2. Their top 2 pass rushers because Sweat came down with COVID as well, and he was supposed to come back this week from his fractured jaw. I know they have a deep line. It may not matter. They're still going to be able to get pressure, and I know their defense has played better the last 4 weeks, but
it just feels like a trap game for Dallas, and I don't know why. I don't know why I feel that way, but I feel Dallas lays an egg. Odell, obviously not a very favorable matchup going into Arizona on Monday night. We already saw earlier in the season that the Rams could not keep up with the Cardinals.
And see, that was what I was going to bring up is if that became the foot race, you would want Odell, but if you don't believe that's going to be the case, you stick with Brandon Cooks. So
yeah, no Jerry Jeudy love here.
Too. I just don't trust
Detroit.
that offense.
I like Jeudy a lot.
If they're smart, just give Javonte the Williams the football the whole goddamn game.
Javonte the Williams the football.
Yeah,
give Javonte the Williams the football. That sounds like an old person talking about the Twitter and the Facebook. Yeah, I would. I'd probably go Cooks with the quarterback change to Davis Mills. You feel pretty comfy there.
I also think with 10 days off that Cooper is going to be back up to speed and he'll be the wide receiver 1 for Dallas. And I think
that's what I was looking forward to.
Yeah, I feel like your safest floor though is Jeudy just because the matchup is the best.
Such a cupcake.
But yeah, I would go Brandon Cooks in this. All right, that is all we have there. Now we get into the fun stuff, the 3 downs. I have 5 because I have 2 honorable mentions this week. We'll get to those last. Josh, you said Zach Wilson. It's great you're QB6, but now I get to hear Joe gloat for something he told us he'd be wrong about. I definitely did say I would be wrong about that.
You did.
And then he threw his first 2 touchdowns, and I texted both of you saying, Zach Wilson? QB1? Eyes?
Fuck you, Joe. Just fuck you.
The only reason I put him there is I'm like, well, Philly got boned in this stadium less than a week ago.
Yeah.
I mean, why not Zach Wilson? Who did he throw 2 touchdowns to first? Elijah Moore on the slant route. That was actually a really good pass. I don't know what. After the first 2 drives, it seemed like he just kind of cooled down. So, but shout out to the first 2 drives, Zach Wilson. Also, shout out.
He was QB8, I think, on the week.
6.
6, even better.
Unless you,
I literally wrote it 6.
Yeah,
I'm so confused. I'm like, Josh wrote this.
you wrote that. Josh, you're second now. Myles Gaskin. Thought we'd broken the up and downness of your fantasy scoring, you fucker, to put it lightly. They played New York, right? Like that seemed like
it was a good matchup too.
Yeah.
Get Devontae Parker back, and they said, we don't need to run the ball anymore, apparently.
The damn Dolphins. And Jamar Chase, you say 1 less yard, and you get a win on the downside, but no, you end up in a 3-way tie for wide receiver 35, and you get an L. You say, yes, you're bitter. Josh, that's just a life of you. I am right on a Zach Wilson call that I said don't start, and then you're wrong on a Jamar Chase call by technicality.
Yeah, on a game that is not a good game. 5 for 52 for Chase.
Yeah, exactly.
Not a good game.
Yeah, no, that is a.
I mean, most people would call that a win, but we
by
have
our rules.
I'll stick to it. So.
Rules every time.
But here's the thing, that's like that's a good week for a wide receiver 3 though. Like
exactly.
It's a terrible.
He's the guy that everybody's ranking in the top 15.
Yeah, it's a terrible week for Jamar Chase.
I say technically he was a wide receiver 3 this week.
Yeah.
For the
Ryan, your first down is to people who say it's just the Jets. You say the Jets have lost 523 games in their history. That means roughly 500 people have done this ever. I assume you're talking about Gardner Minshew.
People were hating on the Gardner Minshew celebration video, saying he was too jacked up for just beating the Jets, and eat shit. I mean, literally, this guy is
last couple years what he's been through. Like, fuck that, man.
Yeah, ask Joe Burrow about just beating the Jets.
I would be one that says it's just the Jets, but let the dude celebrate. Like,
I can understand getting mad that someone else is happy. It's literally like you are a bitter person and find something better in your life. So
yeah, you want to say it's just the Lions. Now maybe I can grant you something there. No. It's he also.
If Tom Brady was that hyped after beating a 1-win or 2-win Jets team, it would seem a little weird. This is a backup quarterback starting his first game of the year. Didn't know where his job was going. Like, the dude has been through some shit, and it's his dad. Come on.
Your
dad needs to gas you up like that.
Oh yeah. Real question here. If he was still the quarterback of the Jacksonville Jaguars, are they 2-10 right now?
I'd have to go and review this.
Say it, probably.
See, I think they would be better. I'm not saying he's a better quarterback than Lawrence. I'm saying at this point in their game, he's a better leader than Lawrence. But let's be clear. Lawrence is not the full or even 10% of the problem. Urban fucking Meyer.
What was Minshew's record last year as the starter of the Jaguars?
8-0. I don't know.
He won 1 game.
He won the first game.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, I'm really not that convinced that he would be that much better for them. That's just not a good team. Right now, the Eagles have better talent around him, which obviously helps any quarterback.
I think they beat Houston in week 1.
Probably.
Just off his leadership. Denver at home, that was only a 10-point loss. He could have snuck that one out. The game in Cincy, could have won. They only lost by 3. They never beat Tennessee, so that doesn't matter. He would have beaten the Dolphins like Lawrence beat the Dolphins. In Seattle, that's not a win. I still don't understand how the Bills lost to the freaking Jaguars 9-6. That was
the craziest game.
That team's a joke. They would 1,000% have beaten Atlanta if he was the quarterback. No doubt they beat Atlanta. That team sucks. Yeah. So I would say, I mean, is it a drastic change? No. Are they still in last place?
Yes.
Could
Probably.
you imagine if Gardner Minshew was on the team when the Urban Meyer grinding scandal came out, though? He would have had so much fun with that.
I absolutely love that. Speaking of Urban Meyer, Ryan, your second down. Urban Meyer, you're very mad that he benched James Robinson.
I'm not even mad that he benched James Robinson. The audacity. I understand he put the ball on the ground. This is the only player on your team worth a damn. Like, there are times to make an example of somebody. This wasn't it. Like, you have got to stop. I don't know what. To me, it was a power move, and it was a shitty power move. It just. He's awful. One and done.
He's been trying to throw for a college job. just be terrible at his NFL job and go for a college job.
It's like he's playing chicken with Shad Khan. It's like, I'm not going to quit. You're going to have to fire me. And Shad's like, well, I'm not going to fire you. Then I have to pay you. So you quit.
Oh, yeah. Shad should make his life an absolute living hell. If I was, he's in Jacksonville. He's already halfway there, but, tough. And Ryan said the Denver wide receivers, 8 catches, 108 yards against Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah, that's their total. All of them. All 4. I included whoever the 4th guy was who caught 1 ball. But these wide receivers, Tim Patrick, Cortland Sutton, Jerry Jeudy, who we try to pick the right one to hype up, they were all wrong this week.
Wasn't even a right one this week. All right, my 3 downs. Sean McDermott. He seems level-headed against every other organization except the Patriots.
Loses his shit every time.
There could be a minor holding penalty that the referees miss, and you would have thought that it was the pass interference no call against the Saints. You could have thought it would be the first quarter, second play. You would have thought it delivered and chose the entire game. He is a dog shit head coach. I don't care what anyone says. He is a terrible head coach, and he cannot stop bitching at the refs against the Patriots. Every game, go back and look, he can't stop bitching at the refs whenever he plays the Patriots. Dog shit head coach.
So who's worse, Joe, him or Mike Tomlin?
Oh, Mike Tomlin, that's not even close. Mike Tomlin, it's not even close. Mike Tomlin physically tripped a player in a game. That's how bad of a head coach he is.
So he put that kind of effort in, and you're still mad at him about it?
Yes, because his game plan was, I'm going to trip a player because I didn't put together a good enough game plan. Also, just fire Ben Roethlisberger. Why are you continually bringing him back? Oh, terrible. The Chiefs, they still suck, everybody. They still suck. Mahomes had no passing touchdowns in 1 pick. Again, in 2 straight weeks where the Chiefs should lose. The opposing offenses, goose eggs. They lay eggs.
They find a way to win.
They don't find a way to win.
That's kind of a mark of a good team.
No, that is not the mark of a good team. That is not the mark.
Finding a way to win games you should lose, that is the mark of a good team, Joe.
Patrick Mahomes was once again not a startable fantasy quarterback.
I know.
Once again, not a startable fan. Remember when someone said, should we worry about Mahomes this week? And we say, no, 3 touchdowns is in his future. He's 7-0 against the Broncos.
I'm not even so mad.
He's 8-0 now. So.
He's 8-0 now after the dog shit performance.
I'm not even so mad about the lack of touchdowns. Stop turning the ball over, man. Like, I play in my home league, penalizes turnovers like crazy. This dude is killing me. He won me a championship last year. He is working on knocking me out of the playoffs this year.
He's bad. He's tough. My third of 5, because I have 2 honorable mentions. Zeke. Tony Pollard is better than you. Face it. He should be the RB1.
Juice, but Pollard
is
almost guarantee you
younger and healthier.
The same type of work with 25 touches. Sorry, not happening.
Tony Pollard's better.
Close.
Tony Pollard's better.
He's not. He's younger,
Ezekiel
faster,
Elliott,
and healthier.
Zeke right now is hurt. Like, that's pretty obvious.
You could put him fully healthy. Still looks like he's walking around with shit in his pants every time he runs.
And he
Pollard's
still scored
better.
3 touchdowns.
Can we go back and see how many touchdowns he scored this season? Because there's been 3 all season. He's had 2 games.
2 weeks ago.
He's had 2 games over 70 yards rushing, and that was week 3 and 4. I'm just saying.
He has 8 touchdowns first and foremost.
Yep.
But we got into this whole fight last year, Joe, where you don't like players for certain yards. He's only had 2 games over 70 yards. He's the 8th highest rusher in the NFL. Like, not everybody is Jonathan Taylor. He is doing better than
he should be 90%
of the running backs.
I mean, first off, he has 4 games over 70 yards rushing for starters.
Sorry. My apologies.
I mean, he hasn't had one since week 5.
Yeah,
that's
so
because he's hurt.
Okay, so Tony Pollard can stay healthy. Zeke can't. How about that?
I'll give you a
How
little
about
bit
that?
of that.
Okay, fantastic. Zeke still sucks and Tony Pollard's better. We're going to go with that. Speaking of people that truly suck, why is Cameron Dantzler still on an NFL contract?
This I won't argue with you.
I don't understand. So, for those that don't know, right?
And it's sad. I really liked him coming out of college too, but he
played at UCF, right? Was he a UCF guy?
I think Dantzler was from South Carolina. Give me a second. Let me verify that.
Okay, I just know the Vikings drafted a guy to UCF. Forget who it is.
Oh, that's Mike Hughes. He's
Mike Hughes. Thank you, Mike Hughes. Yep.
Dantzler was from Mississippi State. That's where it was.
So, for those that have never played a down of football in your life, there's a very basic rule. When you're playing in the red zone or you're playing coverage to where you don't want someone to score and they're 20 yards away from the end zone, you traditionally play about, I don't know, on the end zone line. Cameron Dantzler had the bright fucking idea to play 5 yards deep in the end zone. Guys, that's half of the end zone if you were mistaken, right? What's easier for a quarterback to do? Let's ask the peanut gallery. What's easier for a quarterback to do? Throw a fucking bullet into someone's chest at the end zone line, or float it over a defensive back? Can we please fit at what is Jeopardy? Someone answer. I don't care. What's easier?
Well, I think Jared Goff showed us, didn't he?
The blind Jared Goff, who I shit you not, every ball looked like a skeet disc being thrown, was atrocious. Like, he's terrible. And you let that dumbass throw a game-winning touchdown. Now, Amon-Ra St. Brown had a great game. And that was a perfect route run by Amon-Ra St. Brown. Because I guarantee you, he saw, oh my God, they're playing off coverage with 0 seconds on the clock in the end zone? Let me sit on the goal line. That's so stupid. I'm pretty sure everyone else was on the end zone line and Cameron Dantzler was 5 yards deep.
Here's a fun question for you, Joe. Are you more shocked that Jared Goff, A, completed the pass, or actually saw that Dantzler left him wide open?
Saw that Dantzler left him wide open, because that is the first thing you have to see. That's the first thing you have to see.
And that's what he's not been seeing.
Yes. Jared Goff has... He made a great throw to TJ Hawkinson down the seam. He made one good throw all game, and that was it. The one to Amon-Ra St. Brown is a 15-yard stop route. That is a traditional, like, hey, can you throw the football route?
Cupcake as it gets, as long as you find it. So.
And especially if Cameron Dantzler is 5 yards deep in the end zone. Oh, and the safety was like 8 yards deep in the end zone. So I don't really know if the defense called for that, but I'm pretty sure the other half of the field was on the end zone line. Cameron Dantzler's a moron. Speaking of morons, that also wears a purple jersey, what are you doing going for 2, John Harbaugh? What are you doing?
Trying to win a game.
Great. Okay, fantastic, right? Trying to win a game. Last time I checked, if you kick a field goal, you can go into overtime, and you are the superior defense and the superior offense. So why do you not trust that? Oh, and if you're worried about Deante Johnson beating you, double team him. It's a fun thought, right? Double team him. Ben Roethlisberger can't move, so blitz 6 the entire time. I don't know what you want from me. Don't go for 2. That's a dumb move.
Disagree wholeheartedly.
Okay, Fantastic. You are now, 4th in the AFC after that? When you could have been 1 after you won that game? They dropped from 1 to 4.
Yeah.
Not to mention made their division way more wide open.
Wide open.
Definitely did.
Like, if they tie that game, they're still they don't lose a half a game instead of a full game. Stupid. Dumb.
If it works, the narrative's completely different. So
100% if it works, the narrative's completely different. I would still come in here and say you're a moron for going for 2. I don't get it. I don't get it.
I play for the win too. I get it.
I would not. 100%.
I would have.
You
in that situation. I mean, look, Ben had played a pretty solid game up until that point.
Kick the field goal.
So I really don't get it. Like I would go for the 2, go for the win, because if you lose that coin toss, there's every chance that Big Ben's just going to drive that team right down the field, and you don't even get a chance.
And there's also every chance that he pulls a Big Ben and turns the ball over like he did in a 41-7 loss against the fucking Bengals. So again, I will bet my chances that
considering how much Lamar Jackson has turned the ball over the last 4 games versus Big Ben, I think betting that your quarterback would turn it over versus the opposing quarterback is the smarter bet.
And we talked about this before the show.
Going for the win there.
I say we also talked about this before the show. If you lose the coin toss, you're also betting on stopping Deante Johnson for the first time in the game.
Yeah,
so.
Double team him. I don't get why NFL teams are so hesitant to double team a receiver. It's very simple. It works on Tyreek Hill. Everyone says he's the best burner in the NFL. You double cover Tyreek Hill, you can double cover anybody. So if you double cover someone, you take away their best option. Make Roethlisberger look elsewhere. I'm sorry, Chase Claypool is a straight route runner. He can sometimes break you
you're
on the
not
post.
wrong about that. It's interesting to me that has not, like, we're not seeing repeated double teams. But I also wonder if Najee Harris has a lot to do with that, where they have to load the box up a little bit. So
I get that, but Pittsburgh's offensive line is just so bad. You don't need to do that. Like, you need to load the box on Derrick Henry because their offensive line is really good, and it's Derrick Henry, but which leaves A.J. Brown in one-on-one coverage. But the Steelers' offensive line is bottom 5 in the NFL, I'd venture to say, statistically. Personally, I think they're bottom 5. I can't tell you the statistics. Holy shit.
Yeah, I wonder how bad their line is versus how bad Ben is. Like, that there's got to be some correlation between those two things, too.
Ben's bad, but just their rushing statistics. We know Najee Harris is a good running back. They can't block for him. As good of a running back as you can be, Najee Harris can't break 3 tackles of 300-pound defensive linemen. You can't do that.
He's having a Leonard Fournette-esque rookie year where they're running him a ton and he's just running into brick walls. But he's getting it done a little bit, 3.6 yards per carry.
Yeah. But, if he runs behind a good offensive line...
just watching him play, you would expect a lot more out of him. He looks like those 4.5 to 5 yard per carry guys. So
he does. It's just his O-line is terrible and they can't block for him. From Michael, Tannehill or Big Ben? I feel like every week. No,
Michael. It used to be Tannehill or Cousins, didn't it?
I don't know.
I feel like it was Tannehill or Cousins.
But it's definitely been Tannehill every week.
It's been Tannehill.
Yeah, he asked me this question and I said I personally would lean Tannehill. But feel free to ask it on the show because I feel like this week we might actually get a few different answers.
They have Jacksonville, correct?
Yes.
Tannehill does, yeah.
At home, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I think you have to go Tannehill there. Plus, it's Ben and his broken arm on a short week.
I have Tannehill as my QB 12. I think I also have him as my downside just because I fully expect him. I might have changed it. I don't remember, but I fully expect him to blow up in my face. But
Stafford is your downside.
Okay, I did change it then. Okay, but Tannehill was originally my downside. But against Ben, the downside is the same. So I'll take Tannehill.
Yeah, if it was a full week, maybe you could convince me against that terrible Minnesota defense.
I will say, what Titans receivers are actually healthy at this point?
Nick Westbrook-Ikhine, Chester Rogers.
Julio Jones is cleared to come off of IR. It'll be how he practices this week.
Okay.
But Marcus Johnson's still on IR. Obviously, AJB went to IR.
Westbrook-Ikhine hasn't looked bad. And again, it's going against the Jaguars. Like, he's literally playing a collegiate defense. And he obviously came out of college for a reason.
I mean, I understand that, but without any real experienced wide receivers,
I get that,
and that's why I was going to make Tannehill my downside. Yep,
and that would be the only reason why I would lean Big Ben because he has Deante Johnson, he has Chase Claypool, and we saw. I mean, look what Minnesota did to frickin' Detroit last week. Nothing. They had a field day. So. Yeah. That would be the only reason why I would lean Big Ben, but literally for that reason, it's a short week. It's Thursday just because I think it's going to go well. Probably means it's going to backfire. So Tannehill to me is just the safer play at that point.
For the Thursday shenanigans, could there be 2 worse teams? Like this game, no. This could end up being 5-3 and just the worst night of all of our lives. So.
Or it could be 42-39.
Yeah. I hope it's 42-39, but I hope TJ Watt has 2 pick sixes. Just because I want to see what that score will look like on IDP.
or 7 sacks. That'd be great.
Yeah.
So, just for against the Jets. So I would say an on-par defense with the Jaguars. He did look at Chester Rogers 6 times.
Yeah,
and
Rodgers has stepped
he was
up.
5 for 63. So he did look Rodgers way. That was in week 4, so Westbrook-Ikine wasn't really in the offense that much at that point. So
I want to throw out, Josh, it's someone you and I had talked about a little bit in the preseason. Dez Fitzpatrick is back on roster now after just a turbulent preseason where he was released. I think he was a 4th-round pick.
He was.
So released. Not a bad young wide receiver, and he's someone – he caught a touchdown last week or 2 weeks ago. So he's someone who you could see step up, and it's someone who we would have been excited for if this season had went to script. And now it's interesting to see if it's something he can step back up and play better.
Okay. Mr. Grapefruit, good to see. He's 10-3 with playoffs almost guaranteed. Should he had Antonio Brown over Amon-Ra St. Brown? It's a PPR. I think we're all going to aggressively say no to this one.
I mean, the Buccaneers are talking about cutting this guy. I don't understand the fixation, but I'll say the same thing to you, Grapefruit, that I say to everybody else. It's week 16. You're playing to get into the championship. Are you happy starting Antonio Brown as your wide receiver 3? If not, why stash him? So,
yeah, and it kind of boils down to who's already on your roster.
Yeah,
I mean, you may not even need Antonio Brown.
Honestly, I don't know that I would grab either one of these guys.
But it's like every time Amon-Ra has a good game, he disappears for like 4 weeks.
So that words out of my mouth, Josh. So what I would start doing if you haven't yet, start looking, future-proof your defenses. Everybody has to start a defense, and you can start nabbing them now. So 10-3, you probably have a bye in week 15. So start looking at who your current defense is playing in week 16. Look for the available defenses in 16, and then play like you're going to be in the championship. Do the same thing for 17. This is not the time to waste a roster spot on a fringe wide receiver 5. This is the time to win your championship right now.
If you truly need this guy, Amon-Ra St. Brown does play the Falcons in week 15.
It's interesting.
So he plays a shitty defense. He plays the Seahawks. I'm sorry, not in week 15. He plays the Falcons in week 16. So he'll have a bye in week 15.
But that's a big week because
that's a big week.
10-3, you likely have a bye in 15.
Yes. So he plays the Falcons. So if you really do need this guy, Amon-Ra St. Brown has a very good matchup against the Falcons in week 16. Something to just think about and consider. And also, it's not the worst matchup against the Seahawks in week 17, but it's in Seattle, so I don't like that. Week 15, I mean, you're probably not going to play, but it's the Cardinals, so you're not playing him against the Cardinals. And from Arden T. Kratos over on Twitch, Cam or Taysom? I mean, Taysom Hill, it's the Jets, right?
I mean, we know the answer to this is not Cam.
It's not Cam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Taysom Hill, I mean, yeah, it's the Jets.
Yeah, I mean, even if he can't throw, he's going to run all over him.
Yep.
This could very well end up being a 90 yards rushing and 3 touchdown game.
I was going to say this could be a blessing in disguise for Taysom Hill because it's going to keep him from putting.
They're just going to run. They're going to run. They're going to trot out the
wing
Army
tee
offense.
The wing tee. My dad ran that in high school.
No Ingram this week. He's out with COVID.
Yeah, Ingram's
they're supposedly getting Kamara back this week. So I mean, this is basically going to be the Taysom Hill and Alvin Kamara show. They don't need anybody else.
Yeah.
To beat that Jets defense.
My dad ran the wing tee and the wishbone.
That's what Taysom Hill's running this week.
Throwback 80s offenses. Elixir's asking, Titans, Seahawks, Chargers. I assume who are we starting for the defense? Titans.
Not Seattle.
Titans at home against the Jaguars.
I say they all have cupcakes. That's the...
Yeah. Seattle is in Houston. Chargers are at home against the Giants. I would trust out of all of them, the team that has flashed the most on defense, and that would be Tennessee, plus they're at home, and they tend to manhandle the Jaguars. Chargers defense is atrocious. Do not buy into what they did last week. They're bad.
I say defense won last week and going against Jake Fromm in his first start.
I was about to say, there's a chance that the Chargers could be facing a third-string quarterback this week.
Isn't Joey Bosa out, though? Like, their sack numbers are just going to
be... I'll say again, a third-string quarterback.
I understand. I'm just saying, if you're hoping for sacks, like, they're not going to be there, is what I'm saying. They don't have Joey Bosa, as far as I know.
All I'm going to say is this, is Chargers statted out as my defense won again. this week. However, that was pre their own wide receiver issues. And I think that could create a little bit of an issue that's probably going to bump them down my rankings a little bit. I think that still puts them well ahead. I actually don't mind Seattle this week. I think they made my stream of the week list, but I think the Chargers are still going to be pretty well ahead of. Yeah, I mean, they're all top 10 for me.
I was going to say, this is still a decision you can wait till Saturday for.
Yeah. I'm going Chargers, though.
I'll go Titans.
I would lean Chargers.
I'm just more comfy with the Titans. They have all their starters. They manhandle the Jaguars, and also, I mean, again, we don't know much about Jake Fromm. I mean, compared to Daniel Jones, how much of a freaking downgrade is it, if any?
That's
there's
no lies detected.
There's no downgrade.
Well, at least
if
Daniel
anything,
Jones
he could be
can run.
better.
At least Daniel Jones can run. Jake Fromm can't run.
Jake Fromm can't run, but he can he can pass better than Daniel Jones.
And they're still having wide receiver health issues as well. That whole team's a mess. This should be a smash Saquon week, and now we can't depend on that at all. Not that we could have earlier, but
so sit Saquon.
Yeah, I mean, it's about that.
Because that's the kiss. Ryan is the kiss of death. Smash starts. Ryan's the kiss of death.
No. I said should be. I'm way down. Like, I did my initial stats out, and I always look at what defensive is allowed. And Saquon ended up as my running back 5. I was like, fuck no. I went right back in and started trying to figure out why I was wrong there. So,
no, thank you. All right, upsides. Josh, you were 500 last week. You are basically 500 on the season. 24-25-3. You got Taysom Hill in New York against the Jets. Josh Jacobs in Kansas City. No Kenyon Drake. He's out for the season for those that missed that news. Amari Cooper in Washington. And Austin Hooper at home against the Baltimore Ravens.
I will say this. That choice was going to be David Njoku. And then he also got COVID. And I was like, God damn it.
Wow.
So at the top of the show, when we said everybody caught COVID, folks, we weren't lying.
Yeah.
Everyone has COVID. Ryan, you were 3-1 last week. You're 22-30 on the season.
Yeah, right.
Your bold picks at tight ends have really killed you on the losing side.
And I'm kind of going there again this week.
Fantastic. You got Ben Roethlisberger in Minnesota. Amir Abdullah at home against the Atlanta Falcons. KJ Osborne at home against Pittsburgh. Again, another Thursday night guy. And Ricky Seals-Jones against Dallas. At least Ricky Seals-Jones has produced.
Yeah, Logan Thomas is out. Now you got to keep an eye on Ricky Seals-Jones still coming in with that questionable tag. And I don't know that I would full pivot to John Bates here, but Ricky Seals-Jones could be interesting against Dallas. So,
last week I was 3-1. I put a caveat because I feel like putting Tom Brady as an upside quarterback is too easy. So I said he has to finish top 3.
I'll give you that because I damn near put him as my downside. So yeah, if he's top 3, I'll count that.
You put him as your downside?
I almost did.
Ryan, do you know who he's playing? Do you know his record against that team?
Great. That doesn't mean statistically he's going to go out there and blow them away.
32-3 against the Bills.
White, that secondary is not the same.
32-3 against the Bills all time.
They just allowed 12 passing yards in a game, Joe.
Oh, yes. Yeah, my bad. My bad. Josh McDaniels with the game plan of the fucking century.
Hey, all I know is Jonnu Smith led them in receiving yards, so call that a win, baby.
12 yards. God, 12 yards. Brandon Bolden and Jonnu Smith were the 2 guys that caught passes in that game for the New England Patriots. We won. That's all that matters. We won. I don't care. We won. Nick Folk is the best kicker alive. That's all I know. Yeah, so my caveat is Tom Brady has to finish top 3. I was going to say top 5, but again, I felt that was even too easy because he is so damn good against this Buffalo Bills team. I said it last year. I wanted the Super Bowl to be the Bills Bucks just so Brady could dick down the Buffalo Bills on national television for the entire world to see.
I do remember you
We
saying,
might have to start doing that next year. Like with these upside downside picks, like it's okay to pick some of the obvious ones if we have
have to call your shot.
Caveats.
Yeah,
Like,
caveat.
call your shot.
This is a true caveat.
I like that.
I got to pick my guy against literally the team that he has owned. And one of those losses was 31-0 in Brady's like 3rd year in the league. So He scored 14 points in a minute and a half against the Bills. He owns that team. Best record of any starting quarterback against an opposing team in NFL history, and it's not even close. I have Dontrell Hilliard against the Jaguars. Gabe Davis in Tampa. For the same reason Buffalo's secondary's banged up, I can't name you a single person on that Bucs secondary that is still healthy currently. So, and Gabe Davis was getting involved in the offense last week. So my assumption is a lot of attention goes to Stephon Diggs. I think Gabe Davis finally gets more involved.
This seems to be the point in the season where Davis is going to start to go off so that fantasy managers can get a huge hard-on for him for next season again, and he can let him down again. So
good. Maybe I can get some valuable draft capital before.
There you go.
Yeah. And I have Zach Ertz at home against the Rams.
That's already an L because you spelled Zach wrong.
I was going to say the same thing.
Is it with a K?
No, it's with an H.
There we go. Now my eyes aren't offended.
Guys, sorry. My cousin spells it with a K. So, and also I didn't care enough to look it up. It's just Zach Ertz. No one was gonna see it.
I think he's been in the league long enough that you owe him a little bit of respect. Now
respect.
Put some respect on his name.
Yeah, my bad.
Respect.
Sorry.
With the
Dallas
CH.
is Dallas is a much Dallas is a much easier name to spell than Zach. There's only one spelling of Dallas. Josh, you were 1-3 last week on the downside, 28, 22-2 on the season.
2-2 at least. Fucking Jamar Chase.
You got Lamar Jackson in Cleveland taking the real easy route this week with Lamar. Which it sounds funny to say, but he really has been bad.
He has 8 interceptions in his last 4 games.
4 of them came against the Browns, correct?
Yeah.
Yep.
I love that.
Yeah.
Lamar has been playing the game with his TV off. That's what
I said this early in the season. Like he was putting it all on the line so early with all these injuries. He's just wearing down. He's been carrying this team all season long.
What? And again, we didn't think it would happen this soon, and obviously it's a lot of just the season wear and tear. Cam Newton just gave out because he took so much. He took such a huge beating.
Yep.
And we all said it might happen sooner for Lamar because he is nowhere near the physical beast that Cam Newton is. I don't want to say it's the start of him because I don't think it is. But if it is, that's not good because he's 4 years into the league? 3.5 really as a starter. So if he's wearing down now because his body just can't handle it, and again, the dude is a twig. Like he's a literal twig. So if he can't handle it now, I mean that's scary news.
This game's going to be telling because if he isn't up for this game now, I'm not saying the Browns won't be as well, especially with them coming off of a bye. But if he isn't up for this game after what happened last time and what happened last week, it's a red flag.
Yeah, I mean,
a huge red flag.
Line is decimated. His running back core, his top 3 guys really are down.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like
it's bad. Yeah,
he literally has to do it all.
I didn't even think to say that. I believe his offensive line is actually statistically rated in the bottom 5 in the NFL. They're very
and they're
bad.
Not usually that bad.
No, they've.
But, I mean,
this
is 2 years in a row now. They've lost Ronnie Stanley in the middle of the season.
Well, and I believe 2 years since they've had Marshall Yanda in the lineup as well.
Yep.
And Marshall Yanda, if you don't know who Marshall Yanda is, he's probably the best, if not the second best guard ever to play the game. Yeah. And he was on that team for 15 years. Felt like freaking 40.
Forever.
Yeah, felt like forever. But yeah, Marshall Yanda was if not the best guard in NFL history, he's top 3. And they lost him 2 years ago, and that line has just slowly declined since then. You have James Robinson in Tennessee, Christian Kirk at home against the Rams, and Tyler Higbee, same game in Arizona against the Cardinals. I believe you had him as your downside when he played the Cardinals at home as well, like back in week 4 or 5.
So, yeah.
Ryan, you were 500 last week, 29, 22-1. You are still in the lead.
Yeah, I
stole the lead. Me and Josh were tied.
Oh, stole the lead. I was gonna say I'm coming up on you. I've been hot the last couple weeks on the downside, but we'll see this week. You have Matt Stafford in Arizona. Please God, don't let that be right because I have Matt Stafford in my $1,000 league, and I would like a first round bye and my $150 back for winning, being in first or second place. Chuba at home against the Atlanta Falcons. That is a me move right there. That is a me move. Everyone's gonna hop on Chuba because it's a bad game. That's a me move right there. I appreciate that. That's a me saying don't start Brian Hill against the Panthers, and I hope it works out for you. I hope it does. Terry McLaurin at home against Dallas. I hope that doesn't work out for you. Oh God, I love seeing Terry McLaurin
I was
succeed.
struggling with a wide receiver downside this week, and I'm betting on Diggs this week. So.
If the Trayvon Diggs that doesn't get toasted
exactly
shows up,
that's what I was gonna say. One play could end this very quickly,
very fast, very fast. But I mean, he might get toasted by De'Ami Brown because I think De'Ami Brown's the speedster on that team.
Yeah,
but then again, he probably won't line up on De'Ami Brown.
Exactly.
If the Cowboys are smart. And you have T.J. Hawkinson in Denver. I was also going to put T.J. Hawkinson until I saw you put him there. I was 3-1 last week. I'm 25-26-1 on the season. A couple big swings to start. I have Dak Prescott in Washington. I told these guys for the show, I just feel like it is a trap game for the Cowboys. I don't know why. There's just a feeling that I think it's a trap game for the Cowboys. I think the football team is just coming in with some energy that the Cowboys can't match. And I think I just think Washington beats them. And I think Dak Prescott, he might have a couple touchdowns, but I think it's combated on top of a few costly turnovers and not a lot of passing yards. So it's going to be tight, I think.
My surprise is your running back pick because Buffalo hasn't been able to stop anybody the last 2 weeks.
And I'm going to explain. Fournette against Buffalo. I put this there because I truly believe that the Bills' rushing defense is not as bad as we've seen against the Patriots. Because if a team runs on you 40-plus times...
It's going to wear out.
It's going to wear out at some point. And we saw Damien Harris ripped a big one. And, I'm sorry, Ramondre Stevenson at 250 pounds, that bowling ball of a human running at you.
Yeah, it's rough.
He didn't even have 4 yards to carry.
No.
I mean, they held him. It's just, 24 rush attempts for him.
I was like, outside of the Harris run, they did what they needed to do, but nobody could do anything. So.
Exactly. But there were a few, there was a few huge plays, but there was a lot of plays. Ed Oliver was in the backfield.
Oh, yeah.
Matt Milano, in the fourth quarter, zipped right through.
Yeah, when they called that where he started running into the guard gap, and he knocked 3 plays in a row in the backfield.
Yeah, which I don't understand. You're Sean McDermott. You see they've run the football 28 times.
Wait 36 or 45 minutes to call this out?
How do you wait 45 minutes to just run and engage 8? I'm confused.
And the game against the Colts when Jonathan Taylor torched them, they didn't have Tremaine Edmonds that game.
Yes.
That's a huge hole in the middle of their defense.
And here's the thing. You have two of the Patriots and the Colts. Those are two of the best rushing offenses in the NFL and two of the best offensive lines in the NFL. Bucs have a great offensive line. I really wouldn't put them as one of the top tier rushing teams in the NFL. And also, if the Bucs come in with the same game plan last week of I'm going to let Tom Brady throw the football 55 times, that's really going to kill Leonard Fournette.
Yeah,
no, it's not because they throw to him out of the backfield.
They do, but his rushing upside won't be there. I'm betting that his rushing upside is dead in that he doesn't catch as many passes as he normally would.
But if you're right that Brady beats them in the first 15 minutes, this could end up being a Fournette game if Buffalo can't keep it a game. It's going to be an interesting game. It's clearly the game of the week.
I think it is as well, but I think Buffalo can keep it a game because, they were willing to throw in that awful wind.
Oh, yeah.
So in that that secondary is just so bad. So I do think they keep it a game, which is why Brady's going to have to continually throw and throw and throw to keep the Bucs in this game. A wide receiver, I have Brandon Ayuk in Cincinnati. This is out of principle because screw Brandon Ayuk. I believe Josh was big on him last week. Suck it, Josh.
He was just outside the top 36.
3 for 55. Terrible week. And then I want to give a big shout out to Linda on this pick because she was she was on Starts a Different Day 2.5 weeks ago. To our lovely friend Linda, The Cole Kmet targets are really coming in handy right now, especially the ones that he drops into defenders' hands. Those are my favorite Cole Kmet targets. He's dog shit. Are we really going to continue to bang this motherfucker's drum? Seriously? Cole Kmet?
I say Jimmy Graham out here just catching touchdowns.
Oh my God, that made my day. When Jimmy Graham caught the touchdown and not Cole Kmet, that made my day. Wow. God, I'm so happy that Cole Kmet is the touchdown threat everyone was expecting him to be.
Denver tight ends have 4 touchdowns this season. Not one has went to Kmet.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Wow. Things you love to see. File that under things you love to see. Cole Kmet sucking. Because again, I say this all the time. Cole Kmet, dude, I'm sure you're a great man. I'm sure you're a nice guy, do great things in your community. You're just bad at football, and that's okay. It's okay to admit your flaws. Cole Kmet, you're bad. To everyone that said Cole Kmet was going to be a thing, you're wrong. You might be, 2 or 3 years early. Maybe he blooms, maybe he doesn't. But it's not happening against Green Bay with Justin Fields starting on Sunday Night Football in Lambeau in December. It's not happening. So thank you to all that thought Cole Kmet was going to be good. Your fantasy lives were short-lived this season. We appreciate you and your sacrifices of the 13th and 12th round that you made drafting that idiot. So congratulations. Have I said it?
I love that Joe is shitting on 13th round picks.
But here's the thing, Ryan. They took him as their tight end 1.
Yeah, but if you take a tight end that late, you're streaming anyway. So.
Yeah, but those people stuck with Cole Kmet. Is my point.
There is nobody what is his rostership percentage right now?
I don't know. I'm just saying. Linda had Cole Kmet as an upside when we had her on the show. I'm just saying. And then Jimmy Graham caught the touchdown. I'm just saying, Ryan. I love Linda.
I'm on your side with most of this. He's rostered in 26% of leagues.
That's a lot of leagues, Ryan. That's a lot of leagues for a dude that's tight end, 26?
It's a few too many.
That's a lot of leagues, Ryan. Like, Michael Pruitt has more touchdown catches than him.
He didn't have his first double-digit game till week 9 and has only had 2 the whole season. So maybe move off of Cole Kmet 26% of you.
I'm just saying. All right, let's get some of these last-minute questions. And Lee says he lost to his mom this week by a lot, and she started Mac Jones. Lee, I don't even want to answer your question. I just want to say give up. In all honesty, no, we love Lee. Metcalf or Ayuk in a standard. I think you have to roll Metcalf against Houston. I mean, even against anybody just in a standard, you probably got to roll DK Metcalf.
You have to roll DK Metcalf these days. I don't know what the hell's going on there. I would probably lean Metcalf. I'm interested to see what happens in the San Francisco game because I'm wondering if Debo gets the decoy treatment that Josh brought up with Amari Cooper last week, and this ends up being an Ayuk game. If it's my team, I'm starting DK begrudgingly.
Yeah, I think I would go DK this week. Since he's secondary is pretty underrated, honestly. They've played fairly well throughout the season.
But that's
usually
the
wide
thing
receivers
is,
you find it's just turnovers that end up happening. But
that's the thing is you could see a Pittsburgh game against Cincinnati, or you could see a Chargers game against Cincinnati, and there's no telling that. That's a full coin flip.
Yeah, that's my favorite part of football this year is guessing the Cincinnati team that's going to show up.
Yes. Oh my God. Yeah. So that's the tough thing, because if the Cincinnati defense of last week shows up, Brandon Ayuk could be wide receiver 3 on the week.
Could be, yeah. I don't know. I still think even as bad as Metcalf has been, his floor is still probably safer than Ayuk's.
I always play in this instance who has a better chance of catching a touchdown. I think it's Brandon Ayuk. I'm sorry. I think it's DK Metcalf.
Yeah, I agree.
Yep. From Bossman Fat, Melvin Gordon or Dontrell Hilliard. Obviously, this is if Melvin Gordon plays. Melvin Gordon at home against the Detroit Lions in Mile High. Dontrell Hilliard at home against Jacksonville. 2 very good matchups. One running back obviously better than the other, both in split carry scenarios. But does that split carry scenario in Denver now maybe lean in favor of Javonte Williams? Maybe either 60-40, 70-30, we don't know. So just thoughts on the Denver backfield, because to me, I'm leaning Dontrell Hilliard here because you know what you're going to get. And obviously this question may answer itself come Sunday if Melvin Gordon's out. But anyway, if Gordon's in, I'm still leaning Dontrell Hilliard. Ryan, I saw you agree with that. Josh, any disagreements there?
The genie's out of the bottle.
Yep, that's what I was
Javonte
thinking.
Williams showed that he can carry the full load. So even if Gordon's at 80%, you're going to see a 70-30 split. That's honestly what I believe. So I think that alone is going to favor Hilliard just from a snap percentage. Yeah.
And also, Hilliard looked pretty good against the Patriots. He's the faster of the running backs. Yeah. He's the shiftier of the running backs. Devonta Freeman's the boomer. He's the guy that's going to run over you. But I think...
And that's kind of what teams need this late in the season. They need that juice. Like, that's why, everybody was all on board Breida for a couple weeks because he had that juice. Teams are worn out this time of year right now.
And then he dropped a basic handoff in the game Monday night.
That's because Breida's not as good as people want to believe he is.
He's just
that's why he bounced around the league.
He's just so fast. He is so damn fast. Why is Tavon Austin still in the league?
Yep.
Fast.
Yep.
That's really it. We all say Dontrell Hilliard there, boss man fat. Also, good to see you. I don't think we've seen you.
I was going to say we haven't seen him in a while.
Let's wrap up here on the Thriving on Parappies and Ryan's Stream of the Week. Ryan, you have Teddy Bridgewater at home against Detroit. Did I put him as my upside? No, I had him as my upside quarterback. Then I went with the bolder one of Brady. So I second Ryan's Stream of the Week. You have Gerald Everett in Houston, and you have the Chargers. We already talked about at home against the Giants. Thriving on props. I got the easy dub last week with the Trevor Siemian. Easy 100 points. Take points where you can. That's what we all say, and that's the easiest 100 points you're ever going to get in a Thrive prop lobby. Josh, you have Najee Harris over 70.5 rushing yards. That's even money. Ryan, you have KJ Osborne over 2.5 receptions. That does feel weirdly free.
Yeah.
At even money. And I have Deante Johnson over 72.5 receiving yards, which also feels weirdly free. Again, the only hindering to that is Roethlisberger's arm just not being able to do it on a short week. But even then,
I was going to say, you could very well see like a 9 for 58 in a touchdown week from Deante.
I was going to say, but here's the thing. Like, I was going to say, he might have like 10 catches, but he very well could have the 58 yards, but there's one play where he could just rip a 70-yard touchdown.
Well, that's what I was going to say, yep.
Because he's that shifty, he's that fast.
There was one that I was looking at. I think it was Claypool over like 54.5 or 55.5 or something.
He could do that on one play.
Yeah, well, I was going back through and I was looking at because I feel like Claypool we haven't really talked much about this year, and it's just because last year he scored so many touchdowns. He has one touchdown this year.
He's been quiet this year,
but the receiving yards are still there. But he's only doing it on like 2, 3, 4 catches, so. That's where it's like, the fantasy output really hasn't been there. But again, when you're talking props, all you're doing is going for the yardage. And again, he could do that easily in 3 plays. That's another one that I like, which I believe also is even money at 100 points.
Yeah.
My guess is that Deante Johnson will see Patrick Peterson, if I had to take a guess. But he's been anything but stellar this year. He's had a couple good games. And if he doesn't see him, he's seeing Bashad Breeland, who is a walking pile of human doggo on the football field.
Another reason why I like Claypool over his receiving prop this week.
Bashad Breeland is so bad. A ball hit him in between the 2 and the 1, and it still ended up in the receiver's hands. And Cooper rushed through that football. That's how bad of a defensive back Bashad Breeland is. It didn't hit him on the back of the 2 and the 1, no. It hit him in the damn chest on the 2 and the 1, and it still ended up, I believe, in Amari Cooper's hands.
Hit him on the team logo.
It hit him on the logo. Like the Vikings emblem and the NFL shield, it hit him right there, still ended up in the receiver's hands. And, I mean, if he doesn't see either of them, he sees freaking Cameron Dantzler. So, and we all know how bad Cameron Dantzler is. So he should have a very good week this week. And that is it. That is everything. Ryan, your Stream of the Week video drops tomorrow morning. And Thrive Fantasy Props on Saturday. Starts a different day, obviously, on Saturday. I won't be here for this one.
You're missing a good one, Joe.
I am missing a good one. I do have to say our organization is putting on a Santa run that supports runners against destructive decisions. So it's helping people in recovery from drug addiction or alcohol abuse. So I have to say I'm very happy that I get to be able to film that.
We'll be sure to bring that up with our Saturday guest because I think he can appreciate that.
Yes.
Yeah.
So very, very excited to do that, but also very excited for our guest. We have the legend. You may know him from a famous bowl, not named the Super Bowl, but the Scott Fish Bowl. Scott Fish will be joining the Starts at Different Day show.
Huge shout out to Faith for making this happen.
Yeah, Faith.
Yes.
Faith pulled the strings.
Yes. And also thank you, Scott, for joining us on Saturday. We appreciate it. I still have yet to meet Scott or interact with him, and I am continuing.
He's an absolute gem of a human being.
I'm continuing that streak by not being there on Saturday. So go me. The run literally starts at 10 a.m. Central Time, so couldn't have even finagled it if I wanted to. But I get to film. I think there's right now 650 people registered, and they're all going to run in Santa suits, so excited for
awesome.
that. DFS and Chill, Sunday mornings, 11 a.m. Eastern. Ryan and Kira preview the Week 14 main slate. Special guest this week, Travis Strickland.
Yes.
Any
Former
shout-outs?
Ballers writer.
Thank you. Former Ballers writer. Perfect. And Fantasy and Frames going on right now, correct? 8 p.m.?
Correct.
Yep.
All right. After we wrap up here, be sure to go check out Fantasy and Frames, our fourth in Frames on Fantasy and Frames from our friends over there. Also, shout out to Jorge, still repping first place along with Ryan, I believe, in the Four-Eyed League.
Yeah.
I don't know how the playoff structure works. All I know is that
Top two teams are in the playoffs starting now, I believe. So I think it's down to 12 teams. Now your division still matters. We can obviously talk about this off of the air, but your division still matters, but your best record and your top scorer are in the playoffs right now.
Oh, dang. Okay, so I was a three-way tie for the best record. So it's probably the highest score out of all of them, and I have the highest score.
There you go. So you'll probably get in
by
his
2.
best record since it's a tie, and then the next highest score will get in for a high score.
Well, I believe I'm currently number 1 in the standings, so I have a higher points for, and I've beaten them head to head.
I think you're going to get in his best record, and then the next highest score will get in for high score regardless of record.
How many teams do they take from each division? Is it similar to Scott Fish?
No, just 2.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's how Nate just dropped that in our chat last week. So I believe it is only the top 2 teams because there's 6 divisions this year. So there's 12 of us right now. So I think that's why they're starting the playoffs this week. I could be completely wrong, but I think that's what it is. So
I was so mad. Injuries have absolutely decimated my team. Like Tyler out, TJ Watt missed a couple of games, a couple of my linebackers out, DeAndre out. Like it just fell apart. Yeah. Last week, 297 points.
I almost had 300 last week too.
What? Like this is what could happen with a healthy team. I was so freaking mad.
Yeah, I had 262. I had 246 going into Monday night, and I still had Diggs and Josh Allen. So on a normal week, I probably would have dropped 300.
I picked up. I told you, Joe. I picked up Grugier Hill and benched him. This motherfucker dropped 40 points.
Idiot. Houston, right? He plays for Houston.
Yeah, but it was. I picked him up to replace Watt.
Zach Cunningham too.
Yeah, Cunningham's had a terrible year. Jorge and I were way off base. I think a lot of people who do IDP were way off base on Zach Cunningham this year.
Club Fantasy was way on base with TJ Watt, baby.
Yeah,
all 3 of us.
Yep.
Oh, actually, I was looking at points against. Yeah, I am smoking the next 2 teams in points for. I am almost 300 points ahead of the guy also 9-4 in terms of points for. So. Yeah, sweet, awesome. Well, thank you, Jorge, for the Fantasy and Frames and
it's such a great tournament.
League. Yes, awesome tournament. I'm excited that I'm in the playoffs.
If you go to, I believe you could probably find it on one of my tweets, but on Jorge's page, this is a charity tournament. They have a GoFundMe set up right now where you can contribute, and what ends up happening is the winner of these leagues gets to choose the charity where these monies go to. So you're donating to many good causes, especially mine, which will be the Women's Sports Foundation. But more importantly,
back to back.
I'm saying I'm going to win.
Hey,
Joe, I hope we face off. It'll be cool.
If we
I
match
was gonna
up
say
against
y'all
each
are gonna
other-
have so many of the same players. You're gonna have to find ways to mix it up.
I did that last year when I found ways, and actually I think Joe, you might actually help with this. I found ways to differentiate because I knew there was going to be so many of the same players. So we went out and
Crossover.
found like obscure linebackers and
Cameron Curl, league winner.
he was
baby.
on my roster the whole end of the year. So yeah,
League winner, baby. All right, let's wrap up here.
let's wrap this B up.
For Josh, for Ryan, for me, for the Ether, we are Club Fantasy. You can follow us at Club Fantasy FFL. The URL is clubfantasyffl.com. If you want this awesome Bismarck, no, I'm just kidding. I won't plug that.
No, plug it.
Oh, for sure. You want this awesome Bismarck Lark's Christmas sweater? Drops Friday morning, 9 a.m. Eastern. You guys are 9 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Eastern. You guys are the first to know about it because we haven't even tweeted about it yet. So you have the insider information from your boy truly. Going to be an electric time. But always remember, defense wins championships. Offense wins fantasy football. We'll see you on Saturday with Scott Fish for Starts at Different Day. And next week, for most of you, the first week of the fantasy football playoffs.